Hello and welcome to Graduate Student Tax Information for U.S. citizens, permanent residents, and resident aliens for tax purposes for the 2019 tax year. This webinar is sponsored by the Office of the University Bursar, Shared Services, UChicago Grad, and Health and Wellness Promotion. The university provides this information to students solely for informational purposes and is not intended to be tax or legal advice. The ultimate responsibility lies with you, the tax filer. In this webinar, we will cover 4 steps to successful tax preparation, beginning with review your income sources, review tax payments made and tax forms received, reviewing filing requirements and common deductions, and finally, how to file and where to get assistance. Step 1. Review your income sources. In this section, we will review whether income is taxable or non-taxable, the difference between stipend, scholarship, and fellowship, and how to report travel stipend or reimbursement. All income can be classified as either taxable or non-taxable for tax purposes. Taxable income examples are wages and salary, bonuses, awards, or fringe benefits, self-employment income, investment or foreign income, and reimbursement of expenses in certain cases. Non-taxable, non-reported income examples may be financial assistance through student loans and some military or disability payments. For more information on income sources, you may review IRS Publication 525, Taxable and Non-Taxable Income in the link provided. Stipends, scholarships, and fellowships. As a student, you may receive one or all of funding through stipend, scholarship, or fellowship from UChicago or another external source. All or part may be taxable, even if you do not receive a tax form. Generally, these types of aid assist by a scholarship pays in the pursuit of studies for your tuition and fees. A stipend assists in offsetting living expenses, and a fellowship may aid an individual in the pursuit of study or research. If you are a candidate for a degree, you generally may exclude income part of the assistance used for tuition and fees required for enrollment, fees, books, and supplies required for your courses. You may not exclude any income from any part of your grant provided for other purposes such as room and board. If you're not sure how much scholarship funding you received in the calendar year for 2019 from UChicago, you may access your financial aid in the My Financial Aid section of the My UChicago portal. Please be aware that the academic year is different than the tax year. The academic year spans beginning the summer quarter, autumn, winter, and spring. The tax year is date-driven and should only include transactions between January 1 and December 31st of 2019. Remember, scholarship, stipend, and fellowship also includes funding from outside the university. For more information on how to file this income, please go to Tax Topic 421. Travel as stipend or reimbursement. Reimbursements are not reportable to the IRS as income to the student if the student can document that the reimbursement is one of the following: directly supports a faculty member's project or research program, is related to presenting at a conference, is integral to the part of the student's degree work, or is official university business. UChicago has a process by which you may certify your travel for business-related purposes. You may submit this form at the time of the reimbursement request, or this form may be completed after the reimbursement is received. This form is usually processed within your academic department and should be obtained for your records if you are not going to claim reimbursement as income. Now it is time for a knowledge check to review your income sources. Is all income taxable income? True or false? The answer is false. All income should be recorded and evaluated whether it is taxable or non-taxable. Step 2. Review tax payments made and tax forms received. In this section, we will review tax forms you may receive and also how to make quarterly tax payments. The following is a chart of tax forms you may receive from the university. The first one is the W-2 wage and tax statement. This one is provided to you if you earned wages or salary compensation in the tax year. This is provided to you by January 31st of the following year. The 1099 miscellaneous income statement is usually provided if you're receiving a one-time payment from a provider, for it be legal fees, settlements, or services provided. The provider of the income should forward this to you before January 31st of the subsequent year. The 1098T tuition charge statement is provided to you by the UChicago Bursar. Payments made for qualified charges in the tax year are reflected on this form in Box 1. This form is provided to you by January 31st. The 1099E student loan interest statement reflects payments made toward student loan interest in the tax year. The lender holding your loan should provide this to you by January 31st. And finally, the 1095B insurance coverage statement is provided to you by your healthcare provider to prove that you have health insurance coverage. That is also provided to you by January 31st. Domestic students will not receive a tax form for stipend, scholarship, fellowship payments. The IRS considers these categories to be self-reported income, and you must remit taxes and include these as income through the estimated tax process. Self-reported income quarterly payments. Federal and state tax law requires individuals to pay estimated tax payments on self-reported income. As stated in the previous slide, this may be if you received a stipend, scholarship, or fellowship for non-qualified charges. If you owe more than $1,000 in federal taxes and $1,000 for Illinois state or any state you earned income, you should make estimated quarterly tax payments. If you do not pay estimated tax payments when required to do so, the IRS and state of Illinois may assess a penalty for late taxes. How do you make quarterly payments? The federal and state revenue offices provide worksheets available on January 1st of every tax year. These are available on irs.gov. Forms include due dates and explanations of how to estimate the amounts owed. Also refer to IRS Publication 505 regarding tax withholding and estimated tax. Tax payments made and tax forms. You will receive a tax form for all of your taxable income, true or false? The answer is false. There are types of income you will receive where you will not receive a tax form. It is up to the taxpayer to determine if the income is taxable and how to report it according to the IRS guidelines. Step 3. Now that you have reviewed your income sources and tax forms provided, you are ready to review your filing requirements and common deductions. Do you have a filing requirement for the tax year? Do you choose to itemize or use the standard deduction? And what are some of the common deductions students utilize? The following chart reflects income levels for which you do have a filing requirement. For example, if you are single and your gross income was at least $12,200, you are required to file. Please determine your filing status according to the following charts. If you are still claimed as a dependent, you may still need to file based on your gross income. Single dependents must file when your unearned income was over $1,000 or your earned income was over $12,200. There are also filing requirements for married dependents. Earned Income Publication 970 explains the earned income credit. To qualify, you must have earned income from employment or self-employment. The earned income credit is a common deduction utilized by students. For more information, refer to IRS Publication 596. To review all general education-related deductions, please review Publication 970, Tax Benefits for Education. If individuals shared responsibility provision for the Affordable Care Act. If you had coverage for the entire tax year, you will simply need to attest having coverage on your tax form. You will have a shared responsibility payment if there are gaps in your enrollment. Claiming and reconciling the premium tax credit may be used if a marketplace insurance plan was used. Please refer to the Affordable Care Act individual responsibility provision for more information. 1098T Tuition Charge Statement. The 1098T Tuition Charge Statement is used by graduate students who are only eligible for the Lifetime Learning Credit. It reports all payments for tuition and qualified expenses for the 2019 tax year, paid by you or on your behalf in Box 1. It also lists scholarships and grants and tax-exempt funds disbursed to your student account and cannot be deducted. As a general rule, you may only deduct payments you paid out of pocket, including student loans. Tax forms and copies of the 1098T online are available at myuchicago.edu. To see if you qualify for a tax credit, you may use the online calculator available at the following link. Student loan interest deduction. Students who are continuing to make payments towards previous student loans and are paying interest may only be eligible for a deduction. A qualified student loan is a loan you took out solely to pay qualified higher education expenses. Please see Publication 970 Tax Benefits for Education and the Form 1040 to determine if your expenses qualify. If you paid more than $600 of interest on a qualified student loan during the year, you will receive a 1098E, student loan interest statement, from the entity to which you paid the student loan interest. Now it is time for another knowledge check. Reviewing filing requirements and common deductions. Everyone itemizes their deductions on their tax return, true or false? False. It is up to the taxpayer to evaluate how they want to file. New regulations may change how you filed in the past. Review both itemized and standard deduction scenarios. Finally, we've arrived at step 4, how to file and where to get assistance. In this section, we will review tax returns, where to obtain assistance with tax preparation, and tax information resources. If you have any taxable income that qualifies under your filing limit, you must file a tax return. Everyone will use the Form 1040. Updated schedules, if itemizing, are available on irs.gov. There are no personal exemptions for withholding, and the tax brackets have been updated for the new tax year. When filing, please remember when reporting stipend income Any portion of your stipend must include amounts in your gross income tax return. These must be further identified with an SCH with the taxable amount to the left of wages, salaries, and tips of the line of your tax return to the left of the box. It is important to distinguish stipend or scholarship as taxable income from wages so that you are not subject to other taxes. If you receive a Form W-2, you should include this amount in the total amount of line 1. For more information, please go to Publication 970, Tax Benefits for Education. Prior year filings and corrections. If you failed to self-report income in previous tax years, you can correct by completing an amended tax return if you filed a previous tax return for the calendar year. This is the Form 1040X and is available at the federal and state level. If you did not file the previous year, please simply file a new return. There are many resources available to you to assist in filing. The IRS offers several free file online tax assistance software for individuals with an AGI under $69,000 annually. Please visit the following link to determine which free file software is best for your filing. There are also local IRS offices and Illinois State Revenue offices that can be contacted for specific tax information. The IRS also has a program available to tax filers who have an AGI of $55,000 or less to provide individual assistance for certified tax professionals. It is called Volunteers in Tax Assistance, or VITA. To locate the nearest VITA site, please call the following 800 number or use the online locator. There are over 10 sites within a 10-mile radius, including Harold Washington Library and Robert Morris College, within 10 miles of the university. You may choose to use a paid resource to assist you with your taxes. There are many types of paid resources. The first is a certified public accountant. Not all CPAs specialized in doing individual tax returns. To find a CPA, go to the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants or Illinois CPA Society. Enrolled agents focus solely on taxes and are trained to work directly for the IRS. Enrolled agents might work for themselves or in a CPA firm. To locate one, go to the following website. National Tax Prep Change works best for simple, straightforward returns. And finally, you may choose to purchase online software such as TurboTax, which also offer free and low-cost purchase editions. If you choose to use a professional tax preparer, please make sure they have filed student tax returns in the past, have passed state or federal certifying exams, and give you an estimated price for services upfront, including all fees. Avoid preparers who base their fee on a percentage of your refund. There are many ways to file your taxes, true or false. True. It is up to the taxpayer to evaluate how they wish to file. Manually, electronically, paid tax preparer, the choice is ultimately yours, the tax filer. In conclusion, to make sure your taxes go smoothly every year, keep a file with all scholarship payments and make note of types of payments so you know what forms to accept at the end of the year. Keep track of payments towards qualified charges and expense deductions. Make estimated tax payments if required, and visit taxes.uchicago.edu for more information. This concludes our webinar, and we wish you the best of luck with your tax filing.